Welcome to the Pacho Perspective, a place where I share my perspective on everything in the space between life and death. I'm your host, Pacho. Well, my Pachos Chachos, it has been a very eventful week, playing a lot of baseball with my kids, spending tons of time with my baby girl, and with the lady, of course. Having an excellent time, enjoying life. Hopefully you are doing the same thing. Let's not forget the only reason that you should be listening to this podcast, the only reason you should be breathing air is because you want to live in truth and in the light and to have love, which is God, and to be happy. And so I hope you are having a fantastic week like I am. Today is a special day, and I'm actually going to dedicate this episode to the event. But one of my mentors, let's say, in my political and cultural growth, Candace Owens, is releasing a documentary on Daily Wire. So for those of you who don't have a Daily Wire subscription, again, I don't get it paid, but I highly recommend it because there you could see what is a woman, you could see the Fauci files, and, you know, not to mention the actual films themselves, like the Hyperions and Shut In and Run, Hide, Fight, which was incredible. My students really enjoy that movie, even though, you know, we're in Florida and we're close to whatever happened. But anyway, I don't want to get too off track, but she's going to be releasing a documentary called The Greatest Lie Ever Sold, where she is going to reveal everything that she has researched in regards to George Floyd and the circumstances around his death. She's also going to do us all a favor, too, by following the money, since BLM raised something like $80 million. She wanted to know, and I certainly want to know as well, and at 8 p.m. today, we can all find out, what did they do with that money? I remember Patrisse Cullors having something like 6 houses, somewhere in the range of like $3.5 million, all of them totaling up. One of them in Los Angeles in some really hoity-toity place where she actually tried to play the victim when Candace Owens went to go see, because it's registered as a like community center for BLM, but you know, she was actually living there and sleeping there, and you know, how nice for her through all of those donations, right, that she gets to start living large. And so I'm very excited about that. You know, I was talking to some of my students today, and, you know, we were kind of talking about how sad it is when people believe things with their emotions instead of waiting to rationally think things out, because it cost me a friendship. It cost me a relationship that I really liked. It used to be an old student of mine. I used to refer to her euphemistically as my middle son's online godmother. I mean, she was so kind. She bought him so many wonderful things, like a diaper bag, got us diapers and a blanket, got him this huge teddy bear that both of my boys enjoyed. You know, she was really thoughtful, really kind. And then all of a sudden, because of the George Floyd event, to which I was very upset as well, you know, I mean, I was only shown the same things that most people were shown, and so it was a kind of half-truth, but mostly a lie. And, you know, I mentioned something that, you know, it's not true that police officers are racist, and that they should be defunded, and that they're all out, you know, trying to kill young black men. You know, I recall LeBron James also mentioning, you know, that it was impossible for a black boy to go out in the street and not be hunted down or something to that effect. I mean, it was absolute grotesque hyperbole. And you know, she believed it. You know, she was swayed by all the social media and, of course, the echo chambers that just make things worse. And she resented me. She hated me. She thought the worst things of me. I mean, add a phobe, add an ist, add an ism to the end. I fed all of those hats in her eyes. And I even still have a scathing Facebook IM message from a past yearbook president who I had nothing but the fondest memories and the deepest love for. And even he said that he was so ashamed that he knew me because of my stance that police officers were not terrible people and we shouldn't stereotype, and that Derek Chauvin really should have been, measured for what he did. And, we should wait for more information to come out. But no, I mean, they already made their judgments. And so today is kind of bittersweet for me because I know that Candace Owens does an amazing job. If you haven't checked out her book, again, I get no royalties, but I love her and I love her material. And I think she's very smart and I think she presents things very lucidly and I think you would enjoy her. She's got a book called Blackout that talks about her transition from being, like myself in our earlier years, a Democrat, having both of us voted for Obama twice, and then kind of just reading the writing on the wall, like a Daniel, and kind of seeing where society was going and kind of getting a glimpse at maybe the shoes of the wizard behind the curtain. And so we started asking questions. We started looking into things. We started noticing how things were being presented in the liberal media. And, she obviously is much more eloquent and prettier than I am, I will admit. And so, she's kind of an inspiration for me. She's kind of the reason why I got into podcasting, because I really liked how, a person could just use their life as a testimony to help other people who may be struggling with the same problems figure things out, and I hope my little Pachos Chachos, I hope you guys feel the same way. I hope that through these conversations that we have, that maybe I help make things a little bit more clear, maybe to at least validate perhaps your opinion. I mean, I don't want to be an echo chamber. I'm not trying to pander to anybody here. I'm, giving you my honest and sincere opinions about things, even though I may not live them out because, I have an ideal, and trust me, I'm trying to reach that ideal just like everybody else is struggling to be the best version of themselves. I am by no means a statue, to be admired. I'm just like you guys, just trying to talk things out, figure things out, try to determine what's right and wrong so I can leave behind that knowledge with my kids. I need to know in this river of life what artifacts left on the shores of my ancestors are worth putting on the boat. There's only so much room. There's only so much knowledge that I can pass along without inundating my child and sinking the boat. And so that's what we're doing here, right? We're just trying to figure out what's worth keeping and what's worth maybe throwing away, or in a less harsh term or sense, letting go. Well, my Pachos Chachos, I'm going to keep this one short since the last ones have been rather long, but I hope you've enjoyed it nonetheless. And I look forward to giving you then my insight and opinion next week in regards to this documentary and all the things that I found. So for those of you who don't have the Daily Wire and have no aspirations to joining that club, although I really think it's worth it, and plus the Leftist Tears Tumblr is pretty cool. But, I'll give you then my perspective on the key takeaways, and hopefully that will help you and maybe change your mind and make you want to go see it yourself. Again, I get no royalties or anything. I really like their mission. I like what they're doing. I like the counterculture to the crazy mad world that we're living in now. They've invested $150 million to start creating kids television shows to compete with Nickelodeon and Disney. And I look forward to watching and giving my perspective on those things as well. And maybe then, if you're like me with children, you'll be swayed to join them and join me, since I am also a member there too. So anyway, guys, I love you as always. God bless you. Have an amazing, wonderful week. Do not forget to live. Do not forget to love while you're doing that. And do not forget to thank our Father for all the wonderful blessings that He has given us, because truly He is a good and amazing God. Talk to you next week. Bye-bye.